Imagine living your life after 50 and feeling energized and excited about your future. Welcome to the Women in the Middle podcast, the podcast for women who are ready to figure out what they want and create the life they deserve. Here's your host and Master Certified Life Coach, Susie Rosenstein.
Hey there, today we're talking about regret-proofing your holidays. Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast Women in the Middle, where we talk about how to get unstuck, clear, and excited about your next chapter, especially if you're over 50 and feeling like life is way too precious to keep waiting. I'm your host, Susie Rosenstein, your Master Certified Coach and Midlife Mentor, and as always, I'm so glad to be here with you again. Now, as you probably know, my mission is to help you stop living like time doesn't matter in midlife, because it does. So let's talk about the holidays. Holidays are often a mixed bag emotionally, wouldn't you say? You probably want to be present and grateful for every moment you have together, but all kinds of things can get in the way. That's what we're talking about today. If you're listening to this during the holidays, chances are that things already feel a little full, a little hectic. Full calendars, full expectations, full to-do lists. And today, I want to help you think about the holidays a little differently. Not in terms of how to get through them, but how to experience them in a way that you won't regret later. Because here's what I've learned, both personally and from years of coaching women in midlife. Most holiday regret isn't about what we did or didn't do. It's about how we felt while we were doing it. Maybe rushed, resentful, exhausted, maybe invisible, or wishing we'd slowed down and enjoyed it more. So today, I'm sharing a 7-step guide to regret-proof your holidays, not by making them perfect, but by making them intentional. Now, before we dive in, I want to pause for just a moment because this episode is all about intention and self-care. So if you've been thinking next year, I want to do this differently, not just the holidays, but my life, then I want you to consider something. One of the most meaningful gifts you can give yourself, especially at this age of life, is the gift of ongoing self-care, clarity, and support. That's exactly what the Women in the Middle Academy is designed for. It's not about fixing you. It's about creating space to think on purpose, slow down, reconnect with what you want, and build a next chapter that actually feels like yours. If this season is reminding you that time matters and that you don't want to keep putting yourself last, I invite you to learn more about joining us. You can go to www.talktosusie.com and grab a spot in my calendar so we can talk about how the Academy experience could be a gift that you give yourself that lasts far beyond the holidays. All right, let's get into today's episode. I promised you 7 steps to regret-proof your holidays, so here we go. Here is step 1. Decide how you want to feel before the holidays start. Most people plan the holidays backwards. They plan the logistics, who's coming, who's hosting, who's cooking, what you're cooking, who's traveling, how are you traveling. But they never stop to decide how they actually want to feel. And feelings don't just happen. They're created by what we think, either on purpose or by default. So the first step in regret-proofing your holidays is this. Decide in advance how you want to feel. For example, do you want to feel calm, connected, light, peaceful, present, maybe even playful? That's a good one. Really consider this and then focus on just one feeling. Really get into it. I remember doing this really well a couple of years ago. One example, I wanted to be present, really present. And with that feeling in mind, I was able to ask more questions, really listen to the answers, and stay focused on who I was talking to more and better. So by really being aware of it, it was easier for me to be more present when I was having these conversations. I think it was a win-win. So ask yourself, if December 31st rolled around and you said, geez, that felt good, what would good mean? What would it mean to you? That one word can become your filter for lots of decisions that you're going to be making during this holiday season. Okay, here's step 2. Imagine feeling that feeling. This step sounds so simple, but it's really powerful. Your brain needs a rehearsal. So when you imagine yourself feeling calm, grounded, or connected, you're actually creating the neural pathway before the moment arrives. This is the same mental rehearsal used commonly by athletes and performers. You might be aware of that. And it works for emotional states too. So take a minute and picture common situations that will likely be happening when you're with your family. You know what these are. Maybe sitting down for a meal, maybe arriving after travel, maybe you're watching some sports or making a fire. Imagine where you are, picture what you're wearing, and think about how your body feels. Let yourself feel the feeling that you chose. Think about it. Most of us rehearse stress without realizing it when you have all this angst about going and your plans and thinking about arriving, all that stuff. This is you rehearsing ease. So much better, isn't it? It's an option. So here's step number 3. Practice the thought that creates the feeling. So feelings come from thoughts, and during the holidays, old thought habits show up fast. You might have thoughts like, uh-oh, here we go again. I have to do everything. Or maybe, I shouldn't have to ask for help. Another example, this shouldn't be so hard. Or, I don't want to disappoint anyone. Or maybe, I don't want anybody to get mad at me. What if you accepted that you don't need better circumstances? And instead, you had a really useful go-to thought at the ready, like in your imaginary pink tool belt. Now, I always laugh when I mention a pink tool belt because I actually own a pink tool belt. I won it at a networking event years ago. But just imagine that tool belt. You know, a great thought that you know is a go-to thought for you and you're at the ready. It could reasonably be in a tool belt, an imaginary tool belt. Something like this. I'm open to relaxing today. Maybe that's in your tool belt. Or I can slow this moment down. Or maybe I don't have to fix this at all. And one I always like, I'm grateful for this time with my family. So all these thoughts could be at the ready, especially if you just focus on one. It's easier to practice it and use it. So think of this as your holiday anchor thought, the one you come back to again and again. Personally, my holiday anchor thought is the one about gratitude. I love thinking that I'm grateful to have this time when my 3 kids are home with us or away with us, because this special time is becoming more and more challenging. You know, as the kids age with everyone's schedules and personal lives and stuff, it's very hard to get that time. So when it happens, I'm super grateful for it. And I practice that thought. I'm grateful for this time with my family. I also have a thought when things feel overwhelming. It's okay to say nothing. That's my thought. It's okay to say nothing. And when I think that, I feel more grounded. I feel more in control. So I hope these little examples help. Okay, step 4, expect less and expect reality. Now, this one can feel a little edgy, but expectations are known to be a really fast path to resentment. We expect people to behave differently. We expect family dynamics to magically improve. And when it comes to expectations of ourselves, we expect a lot. And I would say we expect too much. Lowering expectations doesn't mean you care less. It just means you suffer less, that you create less pain for yourself. And who doesn't want that? Less pain for yourself. So instead of expecting perfection, you could just expect humans to be human, right? It's definitely an option. Now, this reminds me of this time that I was with another family and someone started making comments about the food. Like one dish ended up on the table, a dish of food, and they were all talking about details about what was in it I don't know, like it made me uncomfortable. That something was off in the meal, not like it tasted bad, but it tasted different. And there were so many questions about it, like, oh, what was this? Did you follow the recipe? Oh, it doesn't taste like that. It tastes like this. But it was kind of like they were disappointed. And I was absolutely shocked. The way I grew up, you didn't say boo about the food other than thank you, this is delicious. And this conversation made me so stressed. And I just couldn't believe they were talking about this. Like something's off. We got to figure it out. Like, where did you buy this? What are the spices? Ooh, what's that taste? It doesn't taste quite right. This seemed to be normal in this family, all of those questions. And I was squirming. My thoughts were what I grew up with. You shouldn't be asking questions like this, or commenting on the food like this is rude. Well, the next time I was with this group, this family, it happened again. And just like the first time, I seemed to be the only one who wasn't comfortable. Everybody was getting right in there with the questions. So the next time I was invited, I prepared myself and remembered that this might happen again. Questionable commentary about the food, what I thought was questionable. So I prepared myself to be calm no matter what was said about the food. I expected less. This family rolls a little differently than mine, and that's okay. Well, what can I tell you? It worked like a charm. So ask yourself, what expectation could you gently let go of this year? When it comes to your holidays, the kinds of things that you usually walk in there thinking about your expectations, about these humans that you love. What could you gently let go of this year? Okay, step 5, embrace the pause in communication. My amazing woman in the middle. Not every comment requires a response. Same goes for texting. Not every text needs an immediate reply. Not every moment needs immediate attention. A pause gives you choice. Here's what a pause might be like for you. Silence, maybe curiosity, perhaps a calm boundary, or simply letting something pass and just move on. Now you might be thinking, it's so hard to shut up like this, Susie. What are you even suggesting? And you know what? You might be right. I've been in those situations where I know I want to say something, but I'm just going to let it go. And I just sit there and watch myself not do it. Being very aware of what I'm doing. I'm being quiet. I'm just not responding. So yes, it can be difficult, and that's okay. Consider your reward for doing this, though. Just imagine not being triggered into emotional chaos, or at least being curious about doing this and trying it out. Like, just try it out once. Notice when you have an urge to comment, and it might be a little dicey. If you do, notice that urge and just don't do it. Just see what it's like. Notice how it feels. Notice what happens as a result in your body, in your mind, how you feel, and what you observe. About the other people too. Just be curious. A pause doesn't have to be avoidance. It could simply be the epitome of intentionality. How about that? Just give it a try. So here's step number 6. Give yourself permission to take breaks. This one is a big one for midlife gals. Think about it. Rest doesn't need to be earned. Breaks don't have to be rewards for finishing everything on your list, your never-ending list. Let's switch this up. Giving yourself permission to take breaks is necessary, and the breaks don't have to be dramatic. They could be small, like a micro break. Here's what I mean. Something like a short walk, sitting alone with a cup of tea, simply stepping outside. Just go outside on a balcony or out the front door and just stand there and just look around. Collect your thoughts. Or what about going to bed early? That's a good one. And here's one I do all the time. Just do a lap around your house or apartment. Stairs included if you have some. Sometimes I do laps around the pool table. Or we have an ottoman in the family room. I just go around the ottoman and just get some walking in. Just get up, look out the window, see what's going on. That kind of thing. Your future you won't regret taking breaks. She'll regret not protecting her energy. That's what I think. I know her. I know your future self. I don't know her personally, but I have a sense of who she is, and she will definitely regret you not protecting your energy or taking care of yourself. Mic drop moment, right? Future you won't regret taking breaks. So here's a little one I've done lately. Do you have a dog? If you do, or if you've had the pleasure to share your life with a dog, you know how excited they can get about going out for a W. I can't even say it. My dog is sleeping like 3 feet from me. It's a W. They might get too excited. Well, I felt extremely guilty about the concept of taking a small W during the day without my dog. You know, because when you're walking, I said it, when you're out doing a W with your dog, there's a lot of sniffing, there's a lot of circling, there's some lollygagging, there's stopping, and you're very distracted because you're paying attention to your dog. You're being present with your dog. But what I'm talking about is me walking without the distraction. It's just me unplugged, literally. And it took years to get to this point. And now I can do it. It's just a 20-minute walk at a good pace, just me walking. Not on the phone or listening to podcasts. I do have my phone in case I have a problem or in case I trip and fall and need help, whatever, right? Or I guess see anybody else who needs help, but mostly I'm worried I might trip or something. But I'm not on the phone. I'm not doing anything else, just walking and thinking and being with my thoughts. Just me. And it's glorious. So I gave myself permission to take a mini walk break during the day without my dog. Giving yourself permission to take a break is a concept that's just waiting for you. And step 7, focus on what you can control. Oh my, this is so good. I know that you may think that you have more control in your world than you do, but here's the reality. You control your thoughts, your boundaries, your pace, your participation. Some examples. And even what you put into your mouth. That's another example. But you don't control other people's moods, family traditions, or how anyone else shows up and what might come out of their mouth. The tip is a big one. It's to focus on your inputs, not the outcome. Are you with me? Focusing more of your attention on what's yours to manage is way more related to avoiding regrets than trying to control other people in your life. So ask yourself, what's one thing you can control today that would make this season feel better? Okay, so a quick review. Here are the steps. Decide in advance how you want to feel. Imagine feeling that feeling. Practice the thought that creates the feeling. Expect less and expect reality. Embrace the pause in communication. Give yourself permission to take breaks and focus on what you can control, the reality of what you can control. So that's what I have for you today. Regret-proofing your holidays isn't about getting them right or perfect. They'll never be completely right or perfect if you keep defining them the way you have been. It's about being able to look back and say things like, wow, I honored myself. I slowed down when I could. I chose how I wanted to feel. I love how I managed my emotions. I appreciated how focused I was on creating the emotional experience I was excited to have. Things like that. And that's not just a holiday skill, my friend. That's a life skill. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Women in the Middle show. My focus as your regret-proofing midlife coach is to help you waste less valuable time and get on with the good stuff. Remember, being the queen of your brain domain is the best way to be. It's time to stop waiting for the right moment and start creating the happiness, excitement, joy, and fulfillment that you crave. Reach out if you would like to talk about coaching together. I've got several options that might be a good fit for you, especially the Women in the Middle Academy. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's also something that your future self will be so grateful for. Head over to www.talktosusie.com. And don't forget to check out my new midlife quiz to discover what's been keeping you stuck and learn what your future self is craving, what your future self wants. Go to www.midlifequiz.com. And for show notes and links, head over to my website, susierosenstein.com, and click on the podcast tab and look for episode 438. You'll also see a link there for my other show, The Women in the Middle Entrepreneurs, which is all about the reality of running your business when you're a midlife gal. It's also on iTunes, Spotify, and all the podcast places. Let's do this, ladies. It's time for you to put yourself first, one thought at a time. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.